Hi everybody, it's Kayla back again with another video. Today I'm going to be answering some more subscriber questions. And these questions are going to be about finance jobs in Florida, whether or not Florida is a good state for finance majors, and the overall job market in Florida for finance professionals. So to start off with, Florida is pretty notorious for being a low-paying state, and I can definitely agree with that. There's some justifications for the low-paying nature of Florida due to no state income tax. That obviously helps a lot when states like Massachusetts have 5% state income tax. To start off with, Florida is pretty notorious for being a low-paying state. There are a few reasons for that, and you need to decide whether or not a lower salary and bonus in most cases for finance jobs in Florida is worth it to you versus living maybe in a more high cost state like New York, Massachusetts, California, etc. Florida, I would say for most cases, is not the best place to start your career. You'll have a lot more respect and probably be able to pull in more salary when you come in from a different state and you're coming to Florida with a job offer in hand versus just coming to Florida and starting to applying to any job that you're able to get. Florida is the kind of state, if you come with 5, 10, 15 plus years of experience, you're going to be a lot better off than a newly minted graduate of a finance program. Since so many people are interested in high finance, getting into finance careers that have the biggest payoffs, Florida really isn't the best option if that is what you're interested in. If that is what your prime interest is in a career, you're going to want to target a state like New York or California. Florida does not have as many investment banks, hedge funds, private equity firms, venture capital firms that other states have. Obviously, they're going to have more high finance opportunities in a state like Iowa or North Dakota, but you're definitely going to be able to find more overall total opportunities in states like New York and California. If you're dead set in working in finance in Florida, your best options are to either work in Tampa, Orlando, or Miami. For Tampa, there's only a handful of investment banks and all other high finance firms. Your best bet for working in finance in Tampa is Raymond James. Raymond James is probably the biggest employer of finance professionals within the state of Florida. Their headquarters is in St. Pete. I think they employ over 5,000 people. And Raymond James has a really good reputation. They don't just do investment banking or financial service products. You can be an independent financial advisor broker with Raymond James. Another big employer of finance professionals in Tampa is Citibank, which is located over in East Tampa, really close to Brandon. Miami has a Goldman Sachs office. I've definitely heard some crazy stories about that particular office, and the investment banks that are in Miami definitely has more investment banks and high finance opportunities than any other part of Florida. You might definitely want to learn Spanish to work in these offices. It's not like an absolute requirement, but a lot of the opportunities down there work with Latin America, Central America, etc. companies, and speaking Spanish will definitely help you out. Whether or not Florida is good or not to live in as a finance major is really subjective to each opportunity and to each individual. There's always going to be that one person out of 10 that gets, a higher salary than everybody else, like gets a better opportunity than everybody else, and is going to say that Florida is great to live in as a finance major. But as a whole, I would tell you to start your career elsewhere if you find a better opportunity to build yourself up. If you truly want to live in Florida for reasons where you don't like the cold, snow, you don't want to pay state income tax anymore, and you're able to find an opportunity where you're able to make more money in Florida, or you're able to offset the lesser amount in salary that you would get in Florida versus the income tax, state income tax that you have to pay in another state, then I would tell you, it might be worth it for you to live in Florida. Or maybe you have family reasons to live in Florida, then it might be a good reason for you to pursue a finance job in Florida. I don't want people to be naive and think that there are a ton of opportunities in high finance in Florida. And if you're coming from another state, or even, if you're somebody who's in school for finance right now in Florida, you are going to have to really network yourself very hard, make as many connections as possible to get into one of those highly coveted roles. For example, most of the investment bank opportunities within Florida are in a boutique kind of environment, and these offices really only have maybe 15 people working in each office, and up to 5 of those people could be admin and office manager type of roles. So there just aren't as many opportunities in Florida for the preconceived, stereotypical jobs that you might think you could get as a graduate of a finance program in Florida. Those types of jobs are much more going to be in the Northeast or California. If you do decide to major in finance in Florida, and you don't take it upon yourself to network as hard as possible to find that I'm not gonna say 1 in a million, but very hard to find job that you're thinking of, that you want to get 6 figures right away. You're gonna have to be content with a more corporate finance type of role, which there are quite a lot in Florida, since there are so many companies in Florida, there are so many people that live in Florida. I want to say Florida is the 3rd most populated state in America. It's either 3rd or 4th. And there are plenty of corporate finance and accounting type of roles available in Florida. If you're somebody who's just starting off in a career in Florida, though, in a corporate finance type of role or a entry-level accounting role, be prepared to make $40,000 a year, $45,000 a year, maybe break $50,000 a year. If you're somebody who already has an established career somewhere else, and you interview for different roles in Florida with this, amazing resume with a ton of experience on it already, don't feel insulted when a company, an opportunity in Florida offers you, maybe less than you're making right now, or way less than you're making right now wherever you're from. It's just kind of like the culture in Florida. Those high finance type of roles are basically never advertised in the Florida market. It's definitely a situation where you need to know somebody, you need to network into that role, you need to have somebody vouch for you to get into that particular office. And if you're somebody who doesn't have a strong network and isn't willing to work to have that kind of network or doesn't have the, just absolute pure luck sometimes to get into that type of role that you're dreaming about, you might want to go and start applying for other opportunities in other states, which, you probably should be doing anyway, just to be covering your behind. Florida is definitely a hot spot for financial services, for being a financial advisor. There's a few things I have to say about that. Not all retirees who come to Florida, whether or not they are snowbirds, a lot of times retirees that come to Florida, they keep whoever their financial advisor is in their previous state. They don't find a new financial advisor, a new financial planner after moving to Florida. They just keep whoever they've had for X amount of years in their previous location. So a lot of those people are not in the market for a new financial advisor, a new financial planner, and usually the only time that those retiree type of people would switch is if they hear just like amazing things about somebody else's financial advisor or financial planner from friends of theirs. And when I'm talking about that, it's usually, you know, they're not ultra high net worth type of people. They're just your typical retirees coming to Florida. For the ultra high net worth people, they're going to be a lot more sophisticated as far as their knowledge about money and investing, and once again, they might keep their financial advisor from wherever they're from, but sometimes they might just automatically choose whoever is the most high profile financial advisor wherever they decide to move to after retiring. I think Florida will always have a market for financial advisors, traditional financial advising opportunities, because it is a state for retirees. However, I think financial advising as a whole is going to face a very harsh reality within 20 to 25 years or so after, you know, like the baby boomers and like people around my grandparents' age pass away, due to people, you know, in their like 40s and 50s, maybe early 60s. Right now, they had to face the brunt of the financial recession back in 2008, and you know, that really destroyed their investing portfolios, their retirement accounts, and a lot of them haven't really gotten to a place where they have recovered. And you know, there aren't going to be as many financially strong senior citizens in, you know, 10 to 20 years or so, so it'll be harder to make money as a financial advisor. By the time people my age, you know, people in their 20s and 30s get to retirement age, you know, I feel like financial advising is really going to go down the tube, because we are starting to, and when I say we, I mean society, is coming to a moment of clarity of being responsible for your own finances, and fintech is really taking over the world. You know, having financial investing apps on your phone, making life so much easier, making your own decisions, and versus taking advice from a financial advisor who a lot of them don't have your best interest in mind. They just want to have as much as your investing capital in their portfolio, so that means that they make more every single year. So that's just my take on financial advising, on where it's going to go in Florida. Is Florida a good state to live in for a finance major? Yes and no. It really depends on what opportunities you get yourself into and whether or not you're going to make Florida work out for you. There's definitely like worse states to live in for a finance major, and living in New York City is absolutely brutal, so I can understand people who don't want to live there and would be willing to take a chance on an opportunity in Florida. It really is a case-by-case scenario. So that's my take on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a like and share it with anybody who might be interested in learning about finance jobs in Florida. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave it down below. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you around in another one of my videos. Bye!